All right, class, you have about 10 minutes until the bell rings. Go ahead and get started on your homework. Make sure you pay extra close attention to Poe's use of tone and mood. You may begin.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered thinking weary, over a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, there suddenly came a tapping, like someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "only this and nothing more."
Distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, and vainly I had sought to borrow from my books a seas of sorrow from the lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore.
And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "Visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some white visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more."
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I was scarce sure that I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more."
Deep into the darkness peering, for long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken and the stillness gave no token. The only word spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This whispered and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this and nothing more.
Back into my chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I hear the tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what there it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more."
Open here I flung the shutter, when with many afloat and flutter, in there stepped the stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon the buster palace just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more.
Then this bonny bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, art thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven.
Much I marveled this ungainly thought to hear this course so plain. Though its answer meets little being no relevance more, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being would receiver above his chamber door, bird or beast upon with such name as nevermore.
But the raven sitting lonely on the ponsive bed spoke only that one word, as if his soul not one word he did outpour. Then he uttered not a feather, then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is its only stock in store." Caught from some unhappy master, whom a merciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hopes that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore.
But the raven, still beguiling all my fancy and smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird, and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking. Fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat, engaged in guessing, not no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall pass, ah, nevermore.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed by an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, that God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite, by thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forget the lost Lenore, quoth the raven, lovable.
Prophet, said I. Thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil. Descent a tempest toss thee here ashore, desolate yet undaunted, on this land desert enchanted. On the house of horror haunted, tell me truly I implore, is there a balm in Gilead? Tell me I implore, quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Prophet, said I, think of evil, prophet still, bird or devil, by the heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell the soul with sorrow maiden, if within the distant Aiden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden that the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Be that word, I'll sign a card, a bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest in the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door, quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of palace just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seemings of a demon that is dreaming. And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted.
Nevermore.